I didn't even get to it. There's no way. Hello, my name is Luke and welcome to Geometry Dash. Today I beat the oldest rated extreme demon in Geometry Dash and also the easiest rated extreme demon in Geometry Dash. The level is called Red World by SaRy. So when people think of famous extreme demons, and honestly demons in general in the early stages of Geometry Dash, they think of Cataclysm, Bloodbath, and if you expand like past levels that are currently extreme demons, you see levels like Ice Carbon Diablo X, Necropolis, Nine Circles, Acropolis, and all these famous levels from before Update 2.0 that really pushed the difficulty of the game and essentially set forth in motion the last decade of the game. There's a couple reasons why this level could be included on that list of really influential demons that shaped the game, but it kind of got robbed of that, and I'm going to go into a little bit of the history of this level and why it's here. So this level in 1.8 was a collaboration between two very old Geometry Dash players from the past, SaRy and Neptune, and it was uploaded to the servers in 1.8. As the game aged through updates 1.9, 2.0, and 2.1, the level became impossible because of a block at 2% that couldn't be passed due to the new mechanics that the new updates brought to the game. She looked into it a little bit more, and apparently there was a block that was impossible to pass after update 1.9 because it had changed into a decoration. A player named Pause decided to fix the level, right, so that it was uploadable, and then once the level was uploaded with that fixed block, the level was rated on the same day, and it became a rated demon in Geometry Dash under the same level ID that it had always been since update 1.8. Therefore, that is why this is technically the oldest by age extreme demon in Geometry Dash. Outside of the level's age and kind of the fixes it went through and the history, this is the first level to ever utilize the swing copter mechanic that robtop added to the game in update 2.2. Right, using the dual balls that you see at about 45% of the way through the level, and then again at about 78%. And that leads me into kind of why I decided to beat this level. I'm in the middle of playing a level called Innards, which I have 80% on. I've been streaming that a little bit, and that level got kind of tiring to play. I'm not a big fan of the song. It's difficult. It would be my new third hardest demon, and I was like, you know, I'm going to take a little break from this. So I'm like, I'm going to play something easier. But I also wanted to build some skills that I didn't really have in the game, and one of those skills was the swing copter. The swing copter has always been a difficult mechanic for me to learn because you have to hit the input an odd number of times or an even number of times depending on whether you want to keep going the same direction that you're going. So if you're going up, you want to keep going up, or if you want to go down, to keep going down. And you have to hit it an odd number of times in order to do the opposite and switch directions. So if you're going up and you want to flip to go down, you have to hit it an odd number of times. And it's a really weird mechanic because in my brain, it just doesn't make sense, right? Like the ship holding to go up and letting go to go down, that makes sense. Same with the wave. But with this mechanic, it's a little different in that it's not as night and day what will happen when you let go versus press the input button, right? It can depend on how fast you're going towards the ground. You're going to have this arc that you account for, right, as soon as your ball flips gravity, and that can make it really tricky to guide, and I know that's something that a lot of people struggle with, especially myself. So when I do the swing copter parts in Red World, I actually have a click pattern for every step of the way. Through the entire final swing copter section, I'm counting in my head little like beats, repetitions ranging from 2 to 8 inputs in length, and I'm doing them to a rhythm that I've essentially practiced over and over again in my head. Alright, now I'm actually going to take you guys through a practice run of the level, and I'll show you what I mean with the swing copters, but I'll also show you some of the more difficult parts of the level. And I'll give you a hint right now, we're going to focus primarily on the second half of the level. So the beginning here is this ball. It's easy, right? That little input there is a little tricky where you have to go up into the normal gravity portal. And then you play the ship and you're like, this is so easy, right? This is like 6-star difficulty. I mean, there's no gimmicks, nothing tricky about it. Literally nothing you gotta do, unless you're me and I die there. And we're already a quarter of the way through the level, right? And then you get here. This is where things start to pick up a little bit. You're going to have 3 triple spikes in a row, and then you're going to have this UFO here where you have to do a very interesting click pattern. And I'll show you what I mean, because you got to click repeatedly and you got to click fast. So I'm going to jump over these triples here, and then I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then you get to this ship here. So, and one more thing I mentioned, I did 4 clicks right after going into the UFO portal. You also need to jump into the UFO portal before that. So it's kind of like you're doing 5 clicks, right? You get here, right? And you have this ship here. And I'm going to show you guys how to do this ship really quick. Because the goal is just to stay as straight as possible, but it's not so easy to do that when the portals are there every single second and you have to flip gravity every literally like half a second. It's crazy. What you want to do is you just want to do 1 click towards the beginning of each portal like that, right? And then here is just memory. I like to just not go where the blue orbs are, right? Otherwise you'll have some trouble with gravity. The hitboxes are light. Oh boy, I say that and then I go down. I already forgot how to do this level and I just beat it a couple hours ago. Once you get past here, my goodness. Okay, then you get to your first swing copter. So there's one part of this where I don't have a click pattern, and that's because all you have to do is stay in the middle. But I'm going to show you guys what this one looks like. This swing copter is a lot easier than the one later in the level. So you go up, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you kind of just stay in the middle as best you can. Go down here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. There, just like that. And then you get to this ship here, and this ship is kind of where the level starts to pick up quite a bit. It's not that bad until you get to about 65, but you do need to be careful going up into here. Make sure you don't hit this saw as you try to go around and hit the purple orb up there, or excuse me, the yellow orb. Just like that, right? You're gonna fly over this saw here, easy practice. Then you get here. Right, and then this is kind of the turning point in the level. So this little straight fly here is so easy, but the whole time I'm just thinking about this next part. And the rest of this ship section has so many tricky bits and timings that you have to deal with, and it has a straight fly that's really difficult. So we're gonna go through it, not that bad. And the first hard bit is at about 67% right here, boom, that part. Going into that reverse gravity portal at the top, it's really hard to avoid both the saw blade and the ceiling. And this purple orb, you have to hit it slightly early, but not so early that you hit the first saw blade. If you look at this gap in here, like, you don't have too much room between this saw and this saw up here. So you have to put a lot of effort into making sure that you don't click too early or too late. And you also can't hold down the button or else you could hit this saw blade. So you have to come back up here, right? And then you have to go in this gap right here, down here, like that. You have to go down there, and it can be tricky to get in those gaps if you don't know how your hitboxes work, and you have to align your ship pretty well. And then you get to these 2 sets of saw blades here. This first one right here is really easy. This one right here is really tight. This is probably tighter than a 1 block straight fly, or maybe I'm just tripping, but it feels so tight, and it's very difficult. So I'm going to go through here like this. I'm going to straight fly, and then you get to this right here. And I can already tell you I'm probably going to die, because if you go too high in this gravity portal, you're going to go up and you're going to hit this. And you have to align yourself pretty well, because these 2 timings here, you're going to have a timing like this, and then down here you're going to have another one. They're pretty tight timings. And because of that, you need to go in this portal properly. So, just like that. You see, I overshot it. There was no way I was going to go all the way down and back up through this, right? So let's try that again. You kind of want to click before this portal here. Then you want to go bounce, bounce, just like that. And then you're kind of through the tricky bits in the ship, but it is not easy at all. And there's going to be a ship at the end of the level that's way harder than this, by the way. And we haven't gotten there yet, but the rest of the ship is pretty straightforward. The straight fly is not that bad. You just want to go down as you head into it a little bit, just like this. You're going to go up here like that, go through another set of blocks, and then you're going to just fly through here like this. There, just like that. And then you get to the second swing copter, and the second swing copter is a lot harder than the first because you don't get any breaks in the middle. Well, actually, that's not true. You do get a couple spots, but it's longer. It feels longer, at least. It's very sustained all the way through. The end of it's very difficult, and it's a weird click pattern. And I'm just going to tell you guys what my click pattern is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2. Boom. Just like that. Did you memorize all those numbers? Because it's pretty important if you want to get past there. But honestly, I like to take like big sweeping strokes as I go through there, and whatever click pattern works for you to get through there is fine. It's just going to take a lot of practice, especially if you're like me and you're not good at the swing copter. Which is great, because then you get to 95%, and this is where the level becomes just totally bonkers for absolutely no reason. If the level ended here, despite some of the really tricky bits leading up to it, I still think you could rate this level an insane demon. But when you have this part here at the end, I don't care how hard the rest of the level is, like, I think you gotta put this as an extreme. And I understand why, because this ending is so bad. The reason it's bad is because of this release right here. Going into this gap right here, where my ship is about to die, this gap right there. That has to be a near frame perfect release, and it's hard to gauge when you should actually let go. Like that. Boom. You go up like that, and then the end here is difficult too, because this straight fly is tighter than one block. I've seen people who like to kind of swoop down into it, like kind of like that, right? Try to get in the gap this way, like that. But I prefer to just kind of bounce and go off just like that. And that's it. That's the whole level. Now, I actually only died twice to the ship at the end, so I'm kind of overreacting, but in reality, it's a pretty challenging ending to the level, and although this was the least amount of attempts I've taken on an Extreme Demon, I think it's fair to rate it Extreme Demon because of the ending. This level took me about 2,650 attempts in total.
Come on.
Yes! Yes! Let's go! Yes! Yes! Thank you guys for watching. This level did give me a hard time for one day when I got 95 and 96, and I just had so little motivation because it was so difficult, but all in all, it only took a couple days to play, only 2,600 attempts, so I would probably say it's my easiest Extreme Demon if we're going off attempt count and just my general experience with it. But it does require a niche skill set in ship and in swing copter, so if those aren't your game modes, I probably wouldn't go to this as your first Extreme Demon. If they are, go for it. But that's all I was going to have for the video today. Check out the verse in my description. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.